Hello everyone, I'm Aurora Sidio, the YouTuber that can't draw, but doesn't give a fuck. There's an event that happens every year in July, where in a website forgot by the gods of Olympus there are creatures feared by creation itself. Artists. You see, once a year, there opens an Artfight, where artists choose a team to join and attack each other by sending art pieces. Whenever that's a drawing, an animation, a freaking cosplay, and all of that counts as an attack, which gets calculated in points for how much complex the art piece is. And at the end of the event, the team with most points wins. Now, this is not a big event held by some company where you pay money to participate and win prizes. It's a relatively small event founded and run by artists. Free to join and with no prizes. The teams and competition are more of an excuse to do the event. It's a win-win non-competition where everyone exchanges art pieces. From newbies wanting to learn how to draw, to artists with a decent following. And if you participate to compete and win the event, you're kinda missing the point of it all. Or if you participate and get mad that a kid who is still learning to draw made you a drawing instead of a big shot artist, or if you participate using generative AI, basically this is literally an excuse for artists to exchange fan arts and have a good time, while exercising their drawing skills, which is exactly why I decided to not participate at the event. At first, I am not a drawing artist. I love to write. I literally created this channel to voice act, and I do draw from time to time, to mainly shitpost and have fun. But it's not something that I pursue or want to get better at. For me, it's just a hobby. A way to visually express my comedic ideas and whatnot. I mean, look at my first video of this channel. I do like how the comic came out, but objectively the art style is left to be desired. I still love this short story of Robin. This is one that I wanted to share for the longest time, but it's very obvious why someone like me would falter at such an event. Artfight is something made by artists that dedicate to this craft. Artists that want to improve, experiment, and make this their work, their lives. I didn't want to invade a space that was not made for a tourist like me, so as much as I was tempted to join in, ultimately I decided to stand aside and let the cool kids have fun. When I saw that people that were going to participate were going to be 3D artists, animators, and even cosplayers. All sorts of people were joining the war, and I was watching them from the bench, thinking, maybe I could join in after all, but I don't have anything of value to bring to the table, so why would I? And I continued in this limbo of wanting to join but faltering to do so, literally up to the last hours before the competition started, when I finally realized I may not be a drawing artist, but I am a shitposter. I could do comics as mass attacks, entertaining the artists with my comedy, and so I joined literally at the last second, creating an account and uploading some of my OCs on the website, joining officially the Artfight in order to shitpost to my heart contents and to make a new experience. So, how did my first year at Artfight went? Before I cover my attacks and defenses, I'll cover real quick the OCs I uploaded on my page of Artfight, to give a general idea of the attacks I could receive during the event, if I received them. In no particular order, there are Las de Amicis. Believe it or not, this is an Hololive OC. I created him based on the idea of, since in Hololive there are phoenixes, what would happen if someone was resurrected by a phoenix feather and believed himself immortal? You will get an idiot that runs around the place, helping others disregarding his own safety, with a Grim Reaper charged to take his soul when he eventually passes away, to be miserable since every single time he almost dies, she gets notified, and since he's insanely lucky, he dodges death by a hair. He's thought to mainly interact with the original 5 English talents of Hololive, the Myth Group, mainly with Mori Calliope and Chiara. I affectionately call him the homeless bastard. The next 3 characters were a concept I never realized, so I'll briefly talk about it. The MH Bar. Basically, I wanted to write a sitcom where characters, which are people based from monsters from the Monster Hunter series, are in a bar, and have to learn how to coexist with each other's peculiarities in this environment. In this case, this character is based off the Grand Jagras, and as such he has long hair, a little bit of stomach, and since these lizards give a underground rock band vibe, let's give him some girl grasses to make him a little bit of a fake style and... Arceus, damn it, I just made me with extra steps. Listen, you think I did this on purpose? You think I want to be the human version of Grand Jagras? At that point I was at a dilemma. He looked too much like me not to be a self-insert. So when I first worked on the project, I did decide to keep him as he is, but with a sole purpose to make him miserable and not ship him with anyone. No self-insert Marisus in official projects here. Nowadays I'm much more lenient and can separate myself from him quite easily, so I allowed myself to ship him and let him be shit with. But I still make him miserable because fuck me! The second character from the Monster Hunter bar is the human version of the Bazagus, Bellatrix Wilford, a nutjob that somehow got the job as a waiter in the bar and strolls away in her rollerblades in the establishment, much to the joy of the clients and staff. Her personality is chaotic and joyful, living life at her own pace and rules. That's because I love crazy bastards. I also decided to make her Jack's sister because I find it funny. Devil Jessie, or Jessica Taylor, is based off the Deviljo, and has a rude personality to match. Because of the deformity of her mouth, she was relentlessly bullied and isolated, forcing her to adapt and be cold and aggressive, masking her mouth as she continues on with life. But despite her tough shell, she desires company, to be comprehended and appreciated for who she is, thing that she has found in Jax's songs. Reason why she's in the bar in the first place. Also, she has an incredible appetite, especially for meat, and she's one of the main clients in the buffet events of the bar. This is the character that I mentioned before, featured in the first video of my channel. It's a short story based around him, so I recommend that video to have a deep look into his character. Just know this was his only image during the event, and I added more after the event, one of which was done by the incredible artist Hotta Porkai. And, I mean, there's an obvious reason she is hot. It's because she has a cold. You good? And last but definitely not least, Floribunda Rose Cookie, Cookie Run Kingdom OC. I knew this would have got the most, if not all the attacks for the event. Not only his design is simple yet effective, my specialty since I hate making details, but he was also the only character whose image has someone who actually knows how to draw. And set artist is JL Draws, the one responsible for my PNG tuber. She's incredible, go follow her. So he had all the chances to be targeted. And now that we have all the characters covered, we can now discuss the event to see how it went. The first attack I did was aimed at JL Draws, and I featured the following characters: Gems Sona, Corvus Sona, and Duques Turian. And since we were fresh of Deltarune's chapter 3 and 4, and since Gem is a big fan, I themed the comic about that. The characters going to a Comic Con being hijacked by a Toby Fox in a hurry to run over a child playing Megalovania. This is the attack I had the most effort for a background, since the characters were in the same position for 3 out of 4 panels, and all I had to do was to trace it on paper. And this was my very first attack of the event. But before I could post it, I immediately received an attack, and it wasn't on Floribunda Rose Cookie. Yeah, an artist immediately noticed on day 1 my boy Robin and decided to do an attack on it, leaving me confused and in awe. I did not have his short story video out, or the incredible artwork by Hot Apple Kai. The artist saw this and went, "I vibe with this." I couldn't let the attack be unpunished, and so my next attack was a revenge against the artist. The second attack was aimed at the character Lucille, featuring Terrawin and Uberor Cookie, as I included a joke villain I first created in a Battle Spirit Saga video on my old channel. I sincerely loved the shenanigans here, and I enjoyed making my first revenge attack of the event. The rest of the attacks I received were revenge attacks from mine, except 2, so I won't cover them in details, but they're available to see from my Artfight profile, and they're all aimed at Floribunda Rose Cookie as I originally predicted. The third attack is one of my least favorite. I still enjoyed my time here, but it has the most text of them all, and making it was a nightmare. The attack was aimed at Shadow, featuring Haru and Cassidy. The fourth attack was the one featuring the most characters up till the moment, as I went with a theme of Sonic characters, as they hear about Artfight and try to look up who has the most fan art, making a horrible mistake in the meantime and ending where they shouldn't have been. The attack was aimed at Kai the Fox, featuring Linux, Blizzard the Bat, Violet the Witch, and Kaimana. I also included a little cameo of an old OC of mine since I could. The fifth and penultimate attack I did, I wanted to dedicate it to a cool streamer I discovered in the Artfight period, the streamer Sona Ox Machina. When I followed them on Artfight, they attacked me. So I responded in kind. Since the Sona is water-based, I made a beach episode, baby! Woo! I also featured the final boss of an arcade game I loved since I was a teeny tiny boy. Will not say who it is, I'll let you guess in the comments. The attack featured Ox Machina, me, Calliope, Goldfish, and Isopod. Since I have a chance to, I'll mention an etiquette of Artfight. When you attack a character or include them in your art piece, you need to read the do's and don'ts of said artist, showing what they are comfortable with representing their characters with or as. At first I wanted the characters in the comic to booze and cruise to party like there's no tomorrow. But one of the artists of the characters I included in the attack has a specification to not include them with alcoholics, drugs or things like that. So I opted to just have a normal party by the sea with no drinks whatsoever. Remember that respect goes a long way. This may be a competition, but it's a friendly one, to share and care, not to antagonize and trigger others. The final attack was supposed to be the sixth, themed after robots. Unfortunately, I didn't have the time to do a seventh, so I had to conclude this year's Artfight with this one, deciding to still attack a cool robot lady I found and to depict every single character I previously featured in this year's attack. A very bad decision, since one of the panels ended as my least favorite part of the whole contest. The third panel ended up being a disposal scene instead of a comedic frame, where I originally planned to extend the joke of the previous attack as I fish up more characters for the party, but I simply did not have the space to do it, so I threw all the characters I couldn't feature in the rest of the panels and called it a day. Next year I will not feature everyone and simply choose a few to more carefully integrate in the comic and the jokes. The attack was aimed at Iris, the cool robot lady, and it featured Shadow, Govsona, Cassidy, Jam, Prismatic Cream Cookie, Uberor Cookie, Isopod, Aru, Grrr, Duke's Durian, Jimmy B, Calliope, Kaimana, Goldfish, Blizzard the Bat, Violet the Witch, Terrawin, Kai the Fox, Lucille, Ox Machina, Linux, and my character Devil Jessie, since no one attacked her and I thought she deserved the love. And these were all of the attacks, totaling up 60% battle ratio and a total of 365 points, .75. I had a lot of fun in this event, and I honestly would not mind participating in the next year, especially since this is a lot less mentally taxing compared to Inktober. A special shoutout goes to Gem, Hot Apple Pie and Ox Machina. All three of them are incredible artists, and their streams are a good vibe. I cannot recommend them enough, but for this video, this is all. Thank you for coming and hope you enjoyed the show. Oh yeah, the opposite team won I guess, but it doesn't matter since I drew them as the soy boys and myself as a Chad.